from Cat Stitch in New Zealand, Wellington. You can see me a little bit crooked. Hang on, let me just get you guys right. There we go. Okay. Today is, well, now it's Saturday. Very early in the morning on Saturday, the 31st of December, the last day of 2022. How was the year for you? And how was your Christmas? So belated Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and every other greeting of celebration for this time of year, however you celebrate it. Oh boy. What am I doing? Oh, that's right. Yeah, so last day of the year. I don't drink, honestly, trust me. This is just me being odd. Lack of sleep. Okay, so for those that are coming to see us for the first time, thank you guys for stopping by the channel. Really appreciate it. If you like what you see, please make sure you do all the things like subscribe, share, leave a comment, let me know, say hi. If you're coming on back, thanks guys. You are a glutton for punishment and I appreciate it so much. Okay, so let's just do a quick update. It's been it's been a couple of weeks, hasn't it? Very happy to be back at home, and the weather's a bit changeable at the moment. We've had a few hot days and stuff, and today is a bit more wintry, so it's just really weird. Had a lovely Christmas. I did spend it on my own, with me and Bobby and Monkey, and they enjoyed the human food, and Bobby got a bag of treats, and so did Monkey. And I have treated myself, still waiting for it to arrive, to a tablet so that I can use that for my stitchy stuff, just stitchy stuff on that. So that's my Christmas present to myself, and I did get some more threads and some buttons and that sort of thing. But otherwise, no, it was a lovely quiet day. I did get a bit of stitching in. I did a start and finish on that day. So what I want to do today is a couple of things. So we are going to show you some of my finishes. I've had a few, you know, because the 123 weren't enough, obviously. So I've had a few finishes, and even some FFOs have been added because 101 weren't enough. So, you know, I like round figures. I like things divisible by 5, and so I had to adjust how many I'd finished and how many I fully finished to give me those numbers. The WIP Parade is going to be for what I'm taking in to next year. I had considered starting 2 more just so that I could take 23 into 23, but there's 21. So that's enough. Especially because I know I've got another one starting on the 1st of January, which is for the Fancy Lady sale, which has been hosted by Teresa Little Stitcher. So if you haven't seen Teresa's Flosstube, where the heck have you been? Go and check her out. She is absolutely fantastic. She does some incredible work. And she's hosting Fancy Lady sale starting on the 1st of January. And I'm going to be doing Miss Spider by Nora Kogut, who I absolutely love. And it has been so hard not starting her, especially in the last week. I just want to start her because she's so cool. Okay, what else? Oh, I got my new glasses. So these are actually my close-up ones. So you guys are all blurry. I hope I'm not, because I can't see that far away. Yeah, I need them so that I can read my cards. So lesser of two evils. And today, well, no, yesterday now, Friday, I decided to try and be sociable and to try and confront my anxiety about being in loud, crowded places. So I organised a little coffee get-together, not a stitchy one, just to catch up for a coffee, to see if anyone in the Wellington cross-stitch group wanted to come along. And I was joined by 7 lovely ladies who, and we just, you know, it was a very loud place and it was exhausting, in all honesty. And when I came home, I couldn't focus on any stitching at all. So instead, I made some bag charms, which, here we go. These are the triple ones. I'm not going to show you the individual ones because those are actually for someone and she wants to be surprised. So, but these are the triple ones that I made. And these were actually fun. These were an experiment. So they were fun to do. So some of the other finishes, we'll start with the fully finished. Now, Felicia from Mouse Potato Designs had been running for December the Shabby Winter sale, and that was the Shabby Winter Calendar sale is the hashtag for it, and that was based on the Kua Ebata Kur. I don't know how to say it in all honesty. The Shabby Winter Advent Calendar, which is this one here. Now, I was never going to do the whole thing as one. I wanted to pick some of them off. A minimum of 4, a maximum of 8, because I want to do the same for summer, spring, and autumn as well. And I want to turn each of them into little ornaments. So I had done 3 last time I'd seen you, but I hadn't added any beads onto any of them or anything like that. So I thought, well, I need to do a 4th one. And there's another reason I needed to do a 4th one, because I needed to get myself a round figure of finishes. So the first one that I had done was this one here, and now we have it fully finished. So there we go. And I've finished them all the same. Here's the fabric on the back. And I've added the beads. That's number 1. Number 2, I think, was the hot chocolate cup. And again, I chose my own colours. I added beads. All of them have the little snowflake charm and bead, and then these lovely little cabochons that were a bit snow-like. I didn't want Christmassy because I could have put like a reindeer or a Christmas, thing there instead. I wanted winter, and snowflakes are winter. So here we go. Number 2. Number 3 was my lovely little gnome. I decided not to make him a stand-up, but I'm going to restitch him and make him a stand-up as well. And I just added the beads to him as well. And then the one that was a start and finish, which gives me 130 finishes this year. And this one also gives me 105 fully finished this year. So there we go. I love this one. And the reason I chose to do this one in particular is because I wanted one that said winter. And again, choosing my own colours. I added some beads for the snow in little places just to give it a little bit of dimension. Yeah, really, really love this one. So that's that one done. So those were the 4 fully finished. And then I had a couple of other finishes. So on Christmas Day, this is by Riveris, or Riveris. It's from the Punch Needle, the magazine, the P&P's one. Is it Punch Needle? Oh, for crying out loud. It's the Christmas Winter 2021 issue by Riveris, and it's part of the Home Seasonal series. This is winter. So there we go. I chose my own colours. And it is stitched on one of my new pieces from Jodie Ree. I actually got a delivery 2 days before Christmas. I was so excited because it was like, yay, Christmas! Because it was my Christmas present to myself. And this is called The Deep, which I think is a limited edition one. But I definitely want to try and get some more of it because it is a gorgeous blue. I think that's pretty close to what it is. And I absolutely love it. So that's Home Winter. So I was really happy to have that one done. And then I got Miss Ladybug finished. I was so happy. I couldn't, oh my god, I was struggling to find the triple six. I was looking through every ruddy bag, everything, and I know I've got triple six because I'm missing it out of my boxes. So I know it is somewhere, but I just can't find it. And then I found a length of triple six in one of my other WIPs, and I thought, right, we'll take it out of there because this is close to being finished. It wasn't quite enough. Fortunately, I had actually ordered, along with those other threads, some triple six, and that arrived so that I could finish Miss Ladybug and then stitch all her beads on. So here she is, Miss Ladybug. She's stitched on 14 count opal lemongrass from Mystic Fabrics. There we go. Isn't she gorgeous? Absolutely love her. I'm just going to get the board, if I can, so that she's a bit more stable when I lean her forward. There we go. So there we are. So we added the beads. There's a lot of beads. She might be a little bit. She's got a lot of beading. So she is really, really lovely. I'm so happy with her. She's so pretty, you know. And I wanted her done before I could start Miss Spider. So happy am I. And then this one, I started last week, along with a bunch of other ones. And I just really struggled to put it down. I just wanted to keep on stitching on it because I was loving it so much. You've seen me show the pattern when I got it. So it's Pins and Needles by My Big Toe. And I'm stitching on another one of the new pieces of fabric I got from Jodie Ree. It's called Christmas Fair. Again, it's a limited edition one. It's from Christmas Advent last year, 2021. And I got an extra piece because she had some extra pieces, and so I'd lay-byed them and got them all paid off, and they were sent over just in time for this Christmas, which is good. So that's what it looked like. And this is my one. So again, chose my own colours. I mean, I didn't go too far off. You know, I sort of stuck to a similar palette. But I was really happy with it. I just couldn't put it down, and I just kept stitching it, and I'd put it down and start working on something else because I wasn't planning on stitching anymore. I'd already finished 125, which was Miss Ladybug and Home Winter. That took me to 125, and so I thought, no, you can't finish anymore, otherwise it means you're going to have to finish another 4. And then I remembered my shabby winter ones, and I thought, well, then I just need to stitch one more and then bead all of them, and then there'll be another 4 finishes. Oh, I can. So I carried on and I finished it. But it is a really fun design. So it's by My Big Toe, called Pins and Needles. I love it. And I love the fabric that I put it on too. So that was cool. Right, so those are my finishes. So it's been a productive couple of weeks. Hopefully I get my voice to stay working, would be good. Here we go. Okay, on to my WIPs. So these are the WIPs that I'm taking with me into next year. And I'll try and get them in the right order that I've got on my cards. So this first one is the Coffee Sampler by Happy Mood Point. It's done as part of a sale with North Island Stitcher. And it was started 16th of November. Is that right, Nicole? I think it's the 16th. I know it was close to that. The thing is, I haven't actually done any more stitching on it because I've been working on all those Ready Christmas ones. So a lot of these ones haven't had anything done to them since I originally started them. But I'm stitching this one with sulky threads. So this is what the design is going to look like at the end. And I'm using a 14 count opal fabric. I think it's not named, but I think it's from Mystic Fabrics as well. So that's where I'm up to. So happy with that. So that's number 1. Number 2, move my card. Number 2 is not that one. Oh. Number 2 is Chester's Place. So Chester's Place I found thanks to Sarah from Sarah's Stitching Corner, I think it is. I'll make sure to put links down below. I remember she showed her finished one and I fell in love with it, and I heard the story about it and I thought, oh, okay, that's really calling to me. So I decided to start this one within the last week, and I've switched out a few of the colours and I'm stitching it on. There's a thread hanging which is not really planned for, but you know, there's a thread hanging, sorry. It's getting stitched on 14 count DMC marble, which is the new painted ones where it's coloured on one side and not on the other. And this is where I've gotten up to so far. So it's my start. Switched out a few of the colours because I was trying to use what I had in stash. So that's number 2. Number 3 is my Black Cat in. Now, I did actually do a little bit on this one this week. I won the design from Louisiana Stitching Girl through Instagram, which has been wonderful. And I'm using 25 count LaDDa ivory and stitching it 1/1. The threads I'm using are Weeks Dye Works Onyx, and at the moment Threadworks 11621 is the brownie sort of colour. I still need to decide on what colour I'm going to use for the face and hands. So let me get this around the right way. And again, there's a little thread. It's just because it's a single strand and I just need to rethread it. So here we go. So I'm not going to put up a before, but this, you know, I've already shown you what it's going to look like in the end. But I've finished over the other side of this house, so now I need to go up 3 floors. And then just add the cats, and I am going to do the full border, top and bottom. I wasn't sure if I was going to do the bottom. Actually, I'm not sure about the bottom still. Definitely the top's going to get finished. And then I'm also deciding on whether I'm actually going to fill in the sign, because the chart calls for it to, but I don't know if I'm going to, and if I do, which colour am I going to use? So yeah, so that's where we're up to with that one. Oh, and it's by Rosa Designs. Sorry, Black Cat in by Rosa. And it's from Etsy. Okay, the next one is my Tudor Ermine by the Blue Flower. I'm stitching it on 14 count Rustico, using my own colours, a range of Weeks Dye Works, Colourworks and Gentle Arts. And last time you saw it, I had 1 quarter, so you can see this is what it's going to look like at the end. I'm still trying to decide what I'm going to do about how light the ermine is, because it's very ghosty and I don't want it to be a ghost ermine, so it is going to get back stitched. But I've started on this side here now. I'm still really loving this, loving the colours that I've chosen for it. So that's where we are on that one. Next up is Santa's Secret. Now this is a Dimensions Petite Gold kit, and the kit comes with 18 count fabric, and it's to be stitched you know, over 2/1 on that. I didn't really like the fabric, so I decided to change it to 22 count Bologna, because I got that whopping great big piece, and the thing is, it's actually full coverage. And I didn't realise that it was going to be full coverage. I'm just going to close the window. Can you just hold on just a second? Hang on. Okay, back. It wasn't that it was cold, it was just moths were coming in. They annoy me. Anyway, so the Santa Secret, usually if I'm going to do it on like 22 count or 20 count or 25 count, I'm doing 1/1, you know. But because the design is a mix of half stitch, full stitch, blended threads, blended, I need 2 strands, and I didn't, and there's also stitches with single strands and double strands, so I'm doing them as it says, 2 strands where needed. So I haven't had a huge start. I've had about 200 stitches on it, and already there's 2 different blended threads in the design. So it's just a small start, but it's a good start. And I actually didn't start it on Christmas Day as I was planning to. Instead, I did that home one. This was started on Boxing Day. And already I'm quite liking the blending of the threads, even though it is something that's quite, I haven't had to do that sort of blending for a long time. So I'm happy with that start. Another new start. Yep, got carried away with new starts. Is by LaDDa. And I'm actually holding off on doing any more of this because I'm going to continue stitching it with the lovely Candice. So she's going to be starting, she's planning on starting it, I think, on the 1st. So I thought, well, I'll wait till she's caught up a bit and then I'll carry on stitching it. I'm using that Raj Mahal art silk on it in 2 different colours. So the witch itself is in brown and the border is going to be in the dark, the ink. So that's where I've started. This is getting stitched on Neutral Mandala by Jodie Ree. Sorry. It's 16 count opal, and absolutely love her. There is definitely a lot of thinking involved in this one to make sure that you position the beautiful dress correctly, you know, when you're doing the filigree and all that sort of stuff. But she is lovely. The minder, I can't remember where I got it from, but I smell children. I thought I needed a witchy one on it. I do actually have a lot of needle minders. I just never remember to put them on. I've got them on a magnet wall. Really, I should start assigning them for each of these. Okay, next up is Alice and the Mad Hatter. Now this one I started earlier in the year. It's by the Flossbox. It's getting stitched on an unnamed piece of 14 count. I think it's from Sew It All. I have changed a few of the colours, and I'm still missing a few of the colours in all honesty. And that's why the mushroom, you know, the top hasn't been completely finished, because those are the colours, some of the colours that are missing. I'll switch them out for something else if I haven't already found them in amongst all my other ones. So this is where we're up to now. Try and get this around the right way. There we go. Ah, now I can see it. So there we go. So I still need to do the Mad Hatter and to finish all along the bottom here and down this side as well. So there's still a little bit of work to go in here, but she's actually going to be making an appearance with Grimm's, which will be showing soon, on the Halloween page. Anna's doing a lot of new things on the Halloween page for next year. So if you're not already a member and you love doing Halloween-y sort of things, check it out. She's got a few sales starting. So there's the Year of the Rabbit sale. So all year long, any design that has rabbits in it, you can do and join in with that sale. She's also got full coverage challenges. She has got the fairy tale ones, fantasy fairy tales, all those sorts of ones, you know, goblins and fairies and, you know, those sorts of things. So fantasy February sale is going to be coming up. Oh, this in January is the Jack sales, the pumpkins. Any designs that have pumpkins in, they can be entered in for that sale. So like I said, there are a lot of challenges coming up, and Anna has some beautiful handmade prizes, gorgeous project bags with, I mean, you've seen some of the ones from what she sent me. So if you're not already a member, go over and check out the Halloween Facebook page. I've always got the link down below. It is my main haunt. I spend most of my time on Facebook in there. I'll dot it other places and stuff, but that's the one that I go to multiple times every day. I know, I'm sad. Okay, so that one, Alice and the Mad Hatter, will be making an appearance as one of my February ones that I'm going to work on, as well as Alice. So there's actually 3. I've got the 2 Alices and the Grimm's fairy tale, which will be, you know, featured in my stitching in February. So this one is Alice. It's by Aury TM. I'm stitching it on the 16 count Fox and Rabbit called Flannel Flower, and I'm using colours from Stash. So this is what it's going to look like. Obviously the colours are going to be different. So here's what I'm up to. I love my cat. So hoping to make good progress on that in February. Next up we have a Raven's Reply, and this is by Luminous Fibre Arts. It's getting stitched on 14 count Opal Welsh Valleys, I think it's called. And this is where I'm up to. And these ones were started as part of a challenge on the Halloween page for October, doing Edgar Allan Poe challenge, where you could stitch anything Raven or Edgar Allan Poe or Nevermore. And this is called the Raven's Reply. No, the Raven's Roost. Get it right? By the Good Huswife. It's on 14 count Opal Ada from Jodie Ree. I can't remember what the name of it is. I'm still at the same point because I still haven't figured out what the dark one is, but it can't be too far away. And then the last one I started in October, or actually the first one, is Halloween Delivery by Plum Street Samplers. It's getting stitched on 14 count Ada, which I dyed. And this is where we're up to so far. So this one is actually coming out in January because it's got a pumpkin in the carriage. I can use it in the Jack challenge, the January Jack challenge. So this is coming out next month. Next up we have our Grimm's, which is going to be making another appearance in February. And again, I've got a thread hanging off it still with the needle at it, needle in there. And this is where we are. Now Grimm's Cell is by Cloudsfactory. I'm stitching it on an unnamed piece of 14 count Opal. No, 14 count. 100% sure. Just looking at the serging, I think it's Mystic Fabrics. No, I don't think so. I don't know. But it's a beautiful yellow. Actually, the colour is pretty accurate at the moment, which is good. So that one is getting pulled out in February. I'm actually going to be putting them in the shelf in order of which month they're getting pulled out, just to sort of keep me on track a little bit better. This one is definitely going to be getting pulled out to work on as like you know, stitch on once a week sort of thing, because I wanted to get further ahead than I have. It's a lovely stitch and I just haven't picked it back up again because of Christmas and stuff. But it's Haunted House by Tinsel Cross Stitch, and it's again thanks to Nicole from North Island Stitcher. I'm stitching it on 14 count Spooky Hollow by Live and Die in LA, and so that's still what I'm up to. So I've got a long way to go, and I'm sure Nicole's just about finished that because we started it together. She's starting from the bottom, and that I still haven't figured out if I've got the other blue, because I'm missing one of the blues. I'm sure I'll find it in my stash there somewhere. Next is All Hearts Come Home for Christmas, which was supposed to get finished this year, but instead I'll finish it next year, because it's for my bestie. And that's okay. I sent her the Grumpy Cat. Well, I'm sending it to her tomorrow. I don't do Christmas presents or birthday presents. I like un-Christmas and un-birthday. You know, it's a thing. And I had posted on my Facebook page, in my albums, all the FFOs that I'd done this year. And she saw the pleasing to my pin. Pleasing to your pin one. She really liked it. And she's like, how much would you want for that one? I said, don't be stupid, I'll send it to you. So I'm sending that up to her as well, and adding a couple of different pins that I made for her with little angels on. So yes, I'm sending those two up to her. She knows about the pleasing to your pin. She doesn't know about the Grumpy Cat, so that'll be a nice surprise. And I'm also sending her one of the triples of those bag charms that I've shown before. So this is All Hearts Come Home for Christmas by Luba, Davies, Atelier. She's on Etsy, and I have a lot of her designs, and I've got about 3 more picked out for next year, all inspirational ones rather than the spooky Halloweeny ones. And this is the Christmas one, All Hearts Come Home for Christmas. So I've got, I'm about, I think Pat and Keeper said I'm about 40%. So it's really not that much to do. I just really need to knuckle down and get it done. Then we have my biggest challenge. Now she is going to be getting brought out definitely next month. I have over 1,000 beads to stitch on her, which is rather daunting. And also some more backstitch, because she's not completely backstitched yet. But I'm going to do it in stages. So I've got to re-put it onto the scroll bar, because I wasn't sure if I was going to pull it out this year, but I've decided yes, she is, next year. So this is Bellatrix by Bella Filipina. It is getting stitched on 14 count Father Time by Mystic Fabrics. One of my absolute favourite fabrics out of all of the fabrics I've ever stitched on, in all honesty. Beautiful. I'll have to go back here. She's one of my biggest for next year. She's a big girl, but she's so beautiful. And I'm so excited to get her done. She was started on the 1st of January 2021. So it's already been, you know, long enough. We need to get her finished now. Camera. she's a biggie. She's a big girl. But I love her. I have started to put some of the beads on. See, so she has got a few up the top there. So yeah, so I've done the ones up the top. Or at least that one colour. Oh, it's nerve-wracking. Seeing how many I'm going to have to put in. And I've done the back stitching on the window. So the biggest part of beading is still to come. But I'm really looking forward to getting her done at last. And then this one here, it's sort of an emotional one for me to do, so I have to be in the right frame of mind to do it, even though I want to try and work on it every week, and I have ever since I started it. I just every time I pick it up, so I haven't. It's one that I started in memory of my dad, who passed away on August 12th, 2020. And so I started it on August 12th this year. And it's called Remember Me by Teresa Kogut. It's getting stitched on 22 count Salter Hardanger in antique white. And I'm stitching it 1/1. I've converted it to overdyed threads from the DMC. And this is where I'm up to so far. So that's the design. And here's where I'm up to. I've already made a mistake. This wasn't supposed to be round. It was supposed to be a bit more oval. But my OCD kicked in and I thought everything was even. And I'm not going to unstitch it. That's all right. Personalised. I'll just have to remember to make the adjustments. And that's why I've left it on the Q-snap frame, because I want to be able to just pick it up and start stitching on it when I'm feeling up to it. So, yeah. That is definitely something that's going to get pulled out and worked on. That's another one of my big projects next year. Then we have our lovely Bothy Gorgeous Girls. I have yet... mind you, I was the same with a muck. So, I mean, if you remember, I did eventually get a muck done this year, which is one that I hated because it had so much backstitch. I mean, I loved the design. I just hated having to do all the backstitch. And Ruby's another one. It's got a lot of backstitch to do, as well as, doing the swing. So, here she is. The thing is, okay, now here's the thing. I may not end up doing the Gorgeous Girls. I love them, don't get me wrong. But I just don't know if there's something that I would put up, or that I would, turn into pillows and put on my shelf as a display. So these may end up getting passed on to someone else that would like them, that would like to finish them and display them themselves. I've sort of come to the conclusion, the stitch what you want when you want is a great concept and that sort of thing. But there's always the risk that the palette of the stitcher will change. And I don't want to store stuff for years and maybe go back to it. So if I haven't finished it within, 5 years, I ain't going to be finishing it. It's just not going to happen. Not now. There's too many that I want to stitch. There's too many that are calling to me and stuff like that for me to go back to one from 5 or 6 years ago. There's a high chance that will never happen. So the Gorgeous Girls were all started in 2015, around about then. It's been beyond 5 years and I still haven't finished them. So they may not make an appearance next year, and if they don't, it's because I've rehomed them. So there was Ruby. Then we have the scarf. I mean, I might keep this one because I do like her. And then we have Spring at Last, which again is very cute. But no, I don't think I'll be finishing her. So if you don't see these again this year, it's because, next year, it's because they've been rehomed. Because every single one of these WIPs has to have some work done on it next year. Maybe not finished, but at least some stitching done on it. Next up, we have another Bothy, and this one I do want to get back to. It's Luna. This is the last one. No, it's not. I was going to say I'm missing something. Actually, there's another one I think I'm missing, but I can't remember where I put it. So here we go. So I want to get back to stitching here. I love it how the fabric's all painted. The only thing is you have to be really careful where you position your creature or your character to make sure it's in the right place. And then another new start from last week. I'm sure I found another one, but I don't know where I put it. So another new start from last week is again by My Big Toe. I got to admit, I'm loving the designs, and there's quite a few on the list I would love to get. This is called I'm a Stitcher, as I showed you in the thing, and I've started that one. So I'm choosing my own colours, you know me. The frame I'm doing in Blackboard, Gentle Arts, I think. I have to double check that. No, it's called Blackboard. Because I like using Blackboard because it's sort of a bluey black, and because I was going to be doing the words in that blue grey, I think it's Blue Moon, I think. I didn't want a dark border, so I didn't want basic black. Right. I know, that's all of them. Told you, I don't really have that many WIPs, considering. But I did get a little bit of stash. Like I said, my WIP Designs clubs arrived, as well as a couple of extra pieces of fabric that I'd ordered and lay-byed from the last Christmas advent from 2021, which Michelle had been wonderful about letting me take the time to pay it off over the year. And also some threads. So these are the threads. Look at the colours. Aren't they gorgeous? That admittedly is called Deepest Night. That's my favourite colour. It is gorgeous. And then we've got these beautiful, look at these oranges and yellows. They just scream autumn, which I love. And lovely green as well. So those are my threads. And then along with those, I'm a Stitcher is getting stitched on 14 count DMC marble, just in case I forgot to say that. So along with the threads, I also got, there's more threads in this one. So this is the October 2022 limited edition. Sorry. It's called Turquoise Shores. Turquoise Shores, yeah. And it is 14 count Aida. So there's the threads. You can see. And then there is the fabric. Just trying to do it. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? Gorgeous colour. And then this one is September 22, the tie-dyed geode called Forest Fae. And OMG, this is, if I've got a sister one to which will fit on this, it's getting done on this, because it is like the green version of it, of the neutral mandala. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm looking forward to using that one. Then we've got September 2022 Back to School. It's a redo of 2013. It's a interesting bluey green. Is that like a school uniform color or something? It does remind me of a school uniform. So it's an interesting one. There is slight mottling in it. Very cool. Then we have the These are some of the ones that I had on lay-by. The June 2021, it's called English Rose, which is gorgeous. My favourite fabric, or one of my favourite fabrics, which is why I got whatever pieces I could get, it's called Christmas Fair. And, you know, this is the one that I've got my needles and pins on, or pins and needles on. So fortunately I've got another piece. Be me. So I love it. Love it, love it, love it. This one is Ice Dancers. I have used this one before on previous projects, but on minis. So this was a piece of 9 by 13. So I grabbed that. The majority of the pieces are 13 by 18. Because it's just the sort of size that I like working on. If they're going to be bigger than that, then there's a high chance I'll never get the chance to display them because it'd be too big. If they're bigger than that, I've got white fabric that I can dye. So I'm not going to buy big pieces of this. I want this sort of stuff for my smaller ones. This one is October 2022 Fall Trees. It's a redo of a 2014 limited edition. And again, beautiful colours. There we go. Love it. Then I've got October 22 Witch's Ball, which has been ice dyed. Beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. That is lovely. It's going to be hard to choose what I'm going to do. I also got these little card size pieces. So there's Pine Forest. Almost like sample pieces. Crackling Fire. And I think this is the ice, Deepest Night, which I've had before, which I have used. So I've got those. Then I've got Christmas Garland. This is from last year's Advent. Gingerbread Man, again from last year's Advent. And Winter Primula from Advent 21. And then I requested Bare Branches, which had been a January 2022 limited edition. So I requested another piece of it. And this was actually a piece of 18 by 26. It was a biggie because it's a lovely fabric. So sorry about the noise, I'm just taking it out so that we can both have a look at it, because I haven't seen it unwrapped yet. Oh my god. Wow. Wow. Oh, that's good. Okay. Sorry. Holding it up. So it doesn't come across on screen properly. It is gorgeous. Look at that. I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. It's a big piece. But isn't that lovely? Oh. Ooh. Okay. So there we go. So I don't know if I'm going to edit this tonight or I might do it when I wake up later this morning. What plans have I got? Well, I don't have a lot. I've got very fluid plans, you know, those fake plans. I am going to post some packages today because I have a few packages I need to send off. I'm trying to decide if I start something new today. If I do, it was going to be the Riolis kit with the wolves, but I need to get the chart photocopied, so I've got a working copy because this one has a lot. So I'm definitely going to have to write on the chart, which I don't usually do. So possibly instead of that, I might do January from Joyful World. by Snowflower Diaries, which is this one. If I can find a picture of it that's not the chart, I'll pop it up here. It was a free design by Snowflower Diaries, and it's been on my I need to do this, you know, so I've got one for each month, and this is the one that I've loved every single month's design. So I'm going to do this as my monthly one. As I said before, on the 1st of January, I'm starting Miss Spider by Nora Corbett. I'm very excited to start that one. I do have another couple of Nora Corbetts in the stream, as it were, to start up over the year and to, you know, to look at doing over the years. I've got Halloween Fairy, which is this one, Electra. I think I've got one more. I think I've got another one of the Bewitching Pixies, but I just can't remember which. If I don't already have it, I think it's on my list to get. So I'm sort of thinking every 3 months. We'll see how we go. I've also got to start next Friday, because on the Halloween group page, Friday full cover, I'm going to be starting my first Haid. Even though my Santa Secret is a full cover, it's not really Christmassy, you know, Halloweeny. Even though it's more horrible for me than Halloween, go figure. So I'm doing Lisa Parker's Bewitched, but the ornament. I just want to sort of put my feet in the water a little bit. So this is 150 by 150, and I'm going to stitch it on 25 count, and I'm going to stitch it 2 over 1, and it's going to be 10 stitch. So yeah, so we'll see how that goes. The other two are the History of Chocolate and the History of Coffee. Again, those will get started later in the year once I've finished the ornament. So I do have 3 of them picked out. So the total of those, I think, comes to, I think the count was like 55,000 stitches, I think. Or no, 50,000 stitches, I think, between the 3 of them. So I'm happy if I can get all 3 done this year, then that's 50,000 just with those ones. And we'll see what else we can do. In regards to tracking and things like that, I'm not really great at doing that. I've got my books, and I hope to be able to keep better track of it and things like that. But that's not what the stitching's about for me. In my job, I do a lot of tracking, I do a lot of typing, I do a lot of, you know, stuff like that. You know, this is my hobby. I don't want to have to keep track of everything. Keeping track of my stash, that's one thing. It's so that I know what I've got, so I don't, you know, reorder it. But there's not many charts or designs that stick out so much that, you know, I want that information. I've stitched it. I've loved stitching it. I can tell you maybe who the designer is for the fabric, or, you know, who the dyer is, but I might not be able to tell you what the name of the fabric is, you know, because I don't think to write those sorts of things down, because I don't take notice of them. I take notice of the colour. Unless it's one that I absolutely adore, and then I remember the name of it, like Bare Branches. You know, because I loved it so much, I knew I was going to order more of it, so that name stuck in my head. So other than that, I have fluid plans. Obviously February, I am going to be bringing out my Alice's and my Grims, because that meets the criteria for my, you know, my main Facebook group that I'm in. And then I can't remember what March was. Oh, it's gone out of my head. But go and check out the page. You'll see what each month, the first 3 months, she's put up, and the prizes that go with it. Oh, I'm saying a lot again, aren't I? Oh, yes, what happens early in the morning and you know you want to say something and you can't remember what it is. Okay, so I've done the finishes, done the stash. Did I say the Rivaris one is getting stitched on the deep? I mean, I try and keep all this sort of stuff, but then I lose track of which one goes with which. There you go. So, I honestly can't think of anything else to say. I just want to say a big thank you to everybody for, coming on by, stopping in, occasionally leaving a comment. Hoping in the new year maybe I'll get a few more comments so I can have conversations. Would be lovely. If you ever want to drop me a line, please do. You can find me on Instagram, Cat Stitch on there as well. If you want to sort of, friend me, then don't, I don't know. I mean, when people friend me, I go and check out their profiles so that I can sort of see, oh, what sort of stitching do you do and stuff like that. And if I can't see your profile, I very rarely will request it. I just won't follow you. Okay? Yeah. I just don't. I would like to also thank everyone who gave me inspiration for a lot of the designs that I chose to stitch this year. It has been an epic year. The grand total is 130 finishes, 105 FFOs. I don't think I'm ever going to do that many again in 1 year. It's been a journey, and my ranges have changed so much this year. Like last year, if you have a look, the majority of them are very much Halloween all year. Nothing but Halloween, really. The odd one or two. This year, I have tried to try new designers and try new styles. Definitely try new threads and fabrics. And it's been fun doing all that. I've found some interesting things that I've actually really enjoyed doing that I didn't think I would. So I'm glad I took the chance. Next year, there's a few things that I still would like to try and do. I'd love to do like one of those 3D houses sort of thing. But every single one I see, you need to use like 28 count or something like that. But now that I've got my magnifier daylight, it may actually potentially be possible for me to do that. So that's a little exciting. I'm going to be doing my first Haid. I'm going to be doing 3 of them. I'm going to be doing my first set of monthly ones. Never done that before. I'm going to be finishing off those seasons. You'll notice something missing. My Madame Chantilly, the tiered trays. I ended up not doing them. There was just something that wasn't hitting me. I love the designs, and I'm not going to get rid of them because I'm sure that they'll hit me at some point that yes, now is the time to do it. So they're not going to be featuring this year, I don't think. The Halloween one might get pulled out. But I've found another seasonal series that I would like to consider starting. Not sure when I'll start it. Probably later in the year, but it's the Carolyn Manning series of the Little Villages. I saw them today when we were at lunch, or coffee, and I sort of worked out that, you know what, that's summer, autumn, winter and spring. I could do those as my seasonals this year because those are gorgeous. They are a little bigger than I would want to stitch, but I may be able to make them smaller if I do them 1/1 on my 25 count. So we'll see. But I will get round to getting those, even though I wasn't supposed to buy anything new next year. I'm not going to do the no purchase thing because I think part of the fun of the cross-stitching thing is to treat yourself to favourite threads or a gorgeous piece of fabric or a really cool chart. In regards to charts, I'm going to try and not really buy any apart from that new series now. I've got a lot of charts to go through and I keep putting off doing them because I buy new ones. So if I'm going to buy a new one, it's got to be one I'm about to start. It's not let it go in my stash. It's got to be ready to be kitted up and to get started. So that's the deal. I do still have some charts on their way from JK's. We're just waiting for them to arrive, and then I can actually put the payment through for all of them. So here's my thought. and my thanks. You guys remember that we've had a tough couple of years, but we've got an incredible community that has welcomed us all and made us feel fantastic. They've given us laughs and smiles. They've given us a few tears and some sadness as we've lost some. And we've seen some challenge and battle. And we're so proud of all of those that have gone through health issues over the last couple of years, come through it fighting, and done so well. And we wish you all the best going forward if you've had any sorts of issues like that over the last couple of years. Keep fighting and keep knowing that the whole community will be supporting you in whatever you're going through. And I'd also like to thank a couple of locals. So thanks to Judy and Nicole for, oh my God, talk about enabling, but in such a wonderful way. Thank you to Anna for being such a fantastic host with the most in regards to one of the best hosted pages on Facebook, and that's the Halloween group. And, you know, there's just a lot. Candace and Donna and Lynn, and oh my gosh, there are so many that make me smile and have made me laugh and have actually helped me through just with some of their comments and stuff like that a lot. And Hildegard, you're a comment, you comment constantly. Oh my God. So thank you guys for all the encouragement you've given me. It helped me achieve my, well beyond my goals, and the egging on to just keep pushing for a little bit more. I so appreciate it. You know, I really do, because I feel like I've achieved something this year, which I didn't think I would. So I'm really happy. So I hope and wish for all of you a wonderful Christmas season, a wonderful new year. And I hope that 2023 will be as joyously stitched as 2022 was. So remember, march to the beat of your own drum. That's where the magic happens. Oh, and for those overseas that are experiencing extremely cold weather right now, please wrap up warm, take care, and stay in your house. You know, if you don't have to go out, please don't. We'd like to see you hang around a bit longer, okay? So take care, everyone. Keep cool, keep warm, whatever's needed, and have a fantastic new year. We'll see you in a couple of weeks in 2023.